My husband asked me to skip our son's graduation so his mistress wouldn't feel uncomfortable. I said, of course, whatever's best. He didn't realize I was recording. Michael worked 4 years for this badge, and you want me to miss it? I kept my voice steady, phone recording in my pocket. Richard shifted uncomfortably at our kitchen table. Look, this woman from my gym, her daughter's graduating too. She has feelings for me. It would be awkward. He couldn't meet my eyes. Just this once for me. I smiled the smile I'd perfected over 23 years of marriage. Of course, whatever's best for everyone. Relief washed over his face. He kissed my forehead and headed out. I opened the GPS app I'd installed after finding lipstick on his collar last month. His dot stopped at the downtown Marriott, not his courthouse. I drove there and positioned myself behind a marble pillar. 20 minutes later, Richard emerged with a young woman on his arm. My vision blurred. It wasn't some gym stranger. It was Jessica, my son Michael's ex-girlfriend, the girl who destroyed him 2 years ago when he caught her with 3 different men. She was 22 now, wearing a tight dress that showed an obvious baby bump. Richard's hand rested possessively on her lower back as they kissed by the revolving doors. I followed Jessica to her apartment and knocked on her roommate's door when she left. I'm Michael Walker's mother. Your roommate is sleeping with my husband. Becca's eyes widened. Finally, someone who will listen. She showed me texts on her phone. My sugar daddy judge paid my rent again. Got a video of him doing lines at the mayor's fundraiser. This baby will set me up for life. Been working him since I was dating his pathetic son. The dates went back 18 months. My hands shook as I screenshot everything. I drove to Michael's apartment in a daze. He answered in his academy uniform. Honey, we need to talk about your father and Jessica. He didn't look surprised. Sit down, Mom. He pushed a thick folder across the table. I've known for 2 years, since before we broke up. She was already sleeping with Dad. Inside were photographs, bank statements, court documents, Richard taking envelopes from lawyers, verdicts that matched payment dates. Why didn't you tell me? Michael's jaw tightened. Because I needed real evidence. That's why I became a cop, Mom, to take him down the right way. At graduation the next morning, Richard sat beside me, constantly checking his phone. Where's your gym friend? I asked innocently. She must be running late, he muttered. The ceremony began normally until Chief Daniels called Michael for special recognition. My son walked to the podium carrying a box of files. Thank you, Chief. Before I accept this honor, I need to fulfill my first duty as an officer. He pulled out documents. Evidence of judicial corruption involving 16 judges, 43 lawyers, and a drug trafficking ring operating through our courthouse. The crowd gasped. Richard grabbed my arm. We're leaving. Sit down, I hissed, showing him my phone. Every conversation for 18 months is recorded. Michael continued reading names, dates, amounts. Judge Richard Walker accepted $500,000 in bribes over 5 years. He also facilitated cocaine distribution at judicial fundraisers. 2 officers moved toward us. Then Jessica stood up in the crowd, her fake pregnancy belly sliding sideways. Special Agent Jessica Donnelly, DEA. She ripped off the prosthetic stomach, revealing a bulletproof vest. This concludes Operation Clean Bench. Federal agents, move in. The exit's filled with armed agents. She was never pregnant, Richard whispered. Jessica strode over with cuffs. The only thing I was carrying was a wire, Richard. Michael descended from the stage as Jessica cuffed Richard. Did you know? Richard asked our son. Michael leaned close. I recruited her, Dad. When I found out about you two, I went to the feds. Jessica was already an agent. We made a deal. Richard's face crumbled. Your own father? You stopped being my father the day you touched my girlfriend, Michael said coldly. As they led Richard away, I handed Michael a folder. Your college fund. I moved it offshore 3 years ago when I first suspected. Jessica paused beside me. 3 years undercover in law school, waiting for someone dirty enough to matter. Your husband was the biggest catch of my career. The last thing Richard saw before the van doors closed was his son pinning on his badge. 2 weeks later, 16 judges, including Richard, faced life sentences.